guys, welcome back to Gate City Design's YouTube channel. This is Hillary, your professional home stager, and I'm the owner of Gate City Design. We're going to do a Stage With Me episode today, looking at a house that was on the market for about 6 years. It's no longer listed, and we're going to review the pictures that were online on the Realtor.com listing and talk about some of the mistakes that were made by failing to stage the house and discuss ways that we may have been able to make this house way more appealing so that it would sell quickly. This is our first impression of the home upon entering, and I'm going to point out a couple of the architectural features in the entryway. First of all, we have custom stained glass inset above the French double doors leading into the office, which is that room over to the left of the French doors. And the French front doors have inset custom glass as well. There's also travertine black and white marble tile floor that goes all the way from the entryway all through the dining room, which is the red room. And because this is an open concept, it has a very visible red dining room right off of the entryway. And I doubt that you probably noticed the other features until I pointed them out because the red is so distracting. So, how do you do this gently as a home stager? You would need to really point out to your client that no one's going to notice any of the other positives about this home until that red is gone, because it's the only thing that you see when you look at this, and it clashes with the green in the front door. Here's an alternate view of this dining room. So as you can see, the red really competes with the fine architectural detail of this room, which happens to be the custom chandelier. You don't even notice it because it's competing so hard with the red walls. So we need to tame this room and neutralize it. I would also advise taking out some of this really oversized heavy furniture. It's just too much for one room. I would take out both the curio cabinet and the china cabinet, and I would take the big palm tree and put over in that left-hand corner where the curio cabinet currently is. Also, remove a leaf from this table if possible and take out 2 of the chairs. 6 chairs for a dining room table is plenty adequate for a showing. We have a custom office that I wanted to show you, and this is a really nice feature of a house in this neighborhood because a lot of people do work from home. Unfortunately, it has faux painting on the walls and it appears really, really dark in here because there's a lot of wood trim. So I would advise repainting this room something just really neutral, like kind of a beige that coordinates with the beige of the walls in the foyer. Also, take out the massage chair. It just doesn't really lend any class at all to the room. And because this room is so dark with all of the woodwork, I would really consider either taking out the dark rug or replace it with a much lighter rug. I'm going to show you 2 views to give you a 360 of the living room and also the art gallery that's above the living room. There are some really good things going on in this room. There's a lot of wall space, and I love the fact that the artwork is so colorful that it really makes the room pop. I would take away this curio cabinet from here. It just really doesn't need to be in there, and I'd put that big plant in place of the curio cabinet. I would use the bank of doors as a focal point and also use the fireplace and built-ins as a focal point. So I would take this large sofa and put the back of it facing the bank of doors. That way it draws the attention to that beautiful lake view, which is really what people are going to be buying when they buy this house. I would take the ottoman out, leave the coffee table, and put the 2 chairs across from the couch, and I would use the fireplace as a secondary focal point and be really strategic about what you put on that bank of built-in bookshelves. TVs are not going to class up a room, so I would make sure that the TV is either covered if there are doors to put over it, or take the TV out and put something large in its place, like a large vase. Onward to the kitchen. And as we all know, the kitchens are very expensive to renovate. So when you're going to sell your house, know that if your kitchen isn't up to snuff, it could make or break the sale of this house. Right away it feels dark in here, and I think the pickled wood cabinets aren't really doing it for me. So I would recommend paint at this point. I would paint the cabinets, and I would paint all of the walls out here something much, much lighter, because with as many windows as there are, it shouldn't feel dark. Back to the previous picture, I would recommend painting these cabinets white because it's going to make the room look much brighter. Also, take the little trinkets out of the window, have 1 plant in this room, a really large centerpiece, magnifying the fact that there's a really big island, and take the clutter off from the tops of the cabinets because it's just a little too much to process. There's a lot going in. It's a very big space. There's a lovely eat-in kitchen area, and unfortunately it appears a little bit crowded because of all the chairs. So I would decrease the chair count to 4 for the purposes of showing the house, and put a beautiful centerpiece in the middle of the table to help draw the eye up, because outside of those windows is a really lovely view of a lake. This is what I call a lost opportunity. There's a lake view and then also a really big deck off to the side of the keeping area in the kitchen. And there's so much mismatched and cluttery furniture that it just wastes the space. I would take out this orange chair, leave the ottoman and the love seat, and leave the console table. But otherwise, try to draw attention to the fact that there's this lake view. So maybe consider a decorative lamp or some kind of a really pretty floral arrangement on that side table. And this is the lower floor master bedroom, and unfortunately I think this is also a wasted opportunity. It's a space that is actually pretty big, but because there's way too much furniture in the room, it just makes the room appear crowded and small. All I would leave in this room is the bed, the two side tables, the lamps, maybe the mirror, and only one dresser. Currently, there's a curio cabinet and two dressers in this room, and it's just too much for this space. So just decrease the amount of clutter. Visually, sometimes having too much furniture in a room makes the room appear much smaller than it should. And there needs to be light, neutral bedding on this bed, preferably just a white, fluffy comforter with some big pillows. The MLS description of this property promised a luxurious master bath, and I think that can be done here even though the fixtures are a little bit outdated. So what we could do here is get some spa quality, thick, white, fluffy, fresh towels and put in all of the towel holders, all of the hand towel holders. Put a couple of really decorative hand soap dispensers. Consider some white candles on those glass shelves right above the sink as well. Consistent with the theme of a luxurious master bath, I would also place some strategic candles and another plant over by the tub to help draw attention to this big soaking tub in this master bathroom. And consider a white fluffy bath mat as well. So far what we've gone over are what we consider the main areas of a house, and if that's all that you can stage, then that should be staged to a T. But I'm going to do a quick walkthrough of the rest of the house and just give kind of an abbreviated commentary. This house has 5 bedrooms, so we're going to start with the bedrooms upstairs. This bedroom just has too much furniture in it. I would actually take this chair and put up on the platform area and make that area have an actual purpose as a reading nook. Since it really doesn't cost much to get some decorative soaps and towels, I would stage every single bathroom in a house that you're trying to sell. It really doesn't hurt anything, and it's only going to enhance the value that people perceive in that property. If you're trying to sell your house, I will let you know that having a house that's decorated like this isn't going to add any perceived value to the buyer. These walls really need to be cleaned off, and the bookcases need to be cleaned off as well. In fact, maybe take that bookcase out of there and just leave the armoire. This bedroom has a beautiful lake view, but you can barely see it because of where the bed is situated. So what I would do differently in this room is just flip-flop where the bed and the dresser are, and then the bed's not going to be immediately obstructing that gorgeous view. And I have another view of the room right here where it also shows that there are some built-in desk and bookshelf areas. So be strategic about what you put on that and just make it look really cute if it's a kid's room. This is the basement of this home, and it has a really cool, funky bar and entertainment area with a kitchenette, which is an awesome plus in this neighborhood, especially if people have older kids who are living with them or parents who are living with them, or even a full-time nanny. So I would play up the fact that there's that kitchenette. There's also an apartment-style bedroom, which we'll see in a second. I wouldn't change anything about the way that this is staged because it actually just looks very functional. It's a man cave / kid cave, and I think a lot of people who are looking at this house would really like that. This is the 5th bedroom that's downstairs, and I'm sure there's a reason why those blinds are pulled, and it's probably because they're broken. And if that's the case, what I would advise doing is just take all of the blinds off of the windows. If someone is actually living in that room at this point, just replace the blinds. That's kind of the right thing to do as the home seller anyway. Finally, we have the deck area that overlooks the lake, and I wouldn't change anything about the way this is decorated either because you have 2 separate areas. You have a dining area and a seating area. The vines are way overgrown, and I would probably recommend trimming those way, way back just because to me it looks a little bit snaky. But this is what you have at the back of the house. It's paradise. It looks absolutely gorgeous. Hope you enjoyed. Like, share, subscribe. Please join us again for another episode coming soon.